Here he is in studio. G'day, Benji Marshall. How are you doing?
Good morning. Very good, thank you.
Yeah, nice to have you. First of all, Mambo, eh?
Yep. I've been a Mambassador. If you put that together, it's Mambo and Ambassador. If you couldn't work that out, Mambassador for a while. So, yeah, just representing the crew.
Hey, it's about the Blues this season. You're playing rugby. How excited are you? It's not far off.
Yeah, very excited. Actually, I was too excited that JK told me I need to take a holiday and save that excitement for when training starts. So I'm just trying to hold on to that and make sure that I don't get too excited too early and turn up training next Thursday and do what I can to be the best rugby player that I can.
So it's all go next Thursday. So the training starts next Thursday. That's not too far from the first game, though, is it?
Yeah, it's not. It's not. I think the thing for me is I've had a bit of a break since the end of the NRL season, and with the rest of the boys, they've sort of just come off the ITM Cup season, and a few of the All Blacks are still away. So I've had to get a bit of training in between. 6 weeks is a long time without doing any training. Get a bit of a puku and a bit of a gut, and train that off. So been trying to work that off for a few weeks.
So have you had a bigger sort of off season than you probably would have regularly had?
Well, it's the first time that I've sort of had the opportunity to just rest and not have to do anything, because the last sort of 5 years has always been like a Four Nations or a World Cup with the Kiwis and sort of a 6-week campaign on the end of a 26-week NRL season. So I've never really had a chance to rest and recover properly, and probably this time it's more been about resting mentally more than physically, and I've really enjoyed it.
You got a limited opportunity out there, 0800 82 55 77, if you do want to ring up and ask Benji a question. Actually, you've been following the rugby league?
Yeah, I have. I really enjoyed it. It's a little bit weird not being there after being there for so many years, but I'm still yelling at the TV like I'm on the field yelling at the boys. No, I think from New Zealand's point of view, I think we're looking great. Probably one of the best starts to a tournament that I've seen from us.
Are you a good watcher?
No.
No. Even though now you've got the new Challenger Rugby, you're watching that and you still would love to be out there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, representing your country in your sport's the pinnacle and the highest achievement you can have. So, obviously, missing out was a hard thing to have to decide to do. But I had to put my main focus on making sure that I do everything I can to become the best rugby player that I can, and that was by moving here earlier and making sure my wife fit in well here too.
Yeah, how's she finding New Zealand?
She loves it.
Yeah.
She's got a new job and really enjoying it. I mean, for me, I've just loved it. It's just been so relaxed and a lot more laid back than Sydney, and everyone's been so friendly and so nice. I know that if I play terrible next year, that's probably going to turn around. So just have to make sure you have to play good to keep it that way.
Well, you're living in the best part of Auckland, I can tell you that. Are you nervous about that? How nervous about how this is going to go are you?
Yeah, a little bit nervous. Probably the biggest thing is, and probably the biggest motivating factor is the fear of failure. And for me, I don't want it to be that way, and I'll do everything I can to make sure that doesn't happen. Was
that a motivating factor for you throughout your career? Is you the type of player? Because you've always struck me as a very confident sort of bloke. You'll try things on.
That's a bit of a front.
So you'd actually worry about things not working out?
Well, I think everyone does in sport. Everyone's scared to let their mates down or let their teammates down on the field. That's the whole part of playing a team sport, is you don't want to let your teammates down, and also you don't want to let yourself down. So for me, that's what it's about this year. Is I think I've got a massive sort of achievement in front of me to be successful for the Blues, but for myself to make it a successful transition and be the best rugby player that I can be.
You just go back to this break that you've had. You've had a decent break, and of course it's a change of focus as well from going to league to rugby. Mentally, are you quite refreshed though?
Yeah, that's what the break was about more than anything. I think that's probably more important than the physical side of things, is being refreshed mentally, especially sort of, obviously last year didn't go the way that I planned on the field. Form wasn't great, but at least with this change now, it gives me an opportunity to start again and for myself, just make sure that I'm ready mentally to take this challenge on. It's going to be a big challenge, I know that. There's some great players in the positions that I'm probably going to end up playing, and I don't want any favours because of who I am. If I'm not good enough at the start of the season, I don't expect to be in the team.
We've got Benji Marshall in the studio. You can take your opportunity to ask him a question if you like, 0800 82 55 77. So it sounds like you're going to be starting at 15. Well, that's if you're not starting, if you come in off the bench, it's likely that you'll slot into fullback.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, that's I think the initial plan, but sometimes plans don't go how they're supposed to. I think I need to get into training, get a feel for different positions, and maybe take on trying to control the game from 10 and take on trying to see what it's like at fullback and see where I best fit in for the team. I mean, I might end up at 12. Who you just don't know.
Yeah.
But that's something I'm looking forward to. The whole unknown factor of this transition is probably the exciting part because, I played 11 years at the Tigers and sometimes, you get a little bit stale and you don't feel like you're learning new things every day. So with this change and the whole unknown factor, I'm going to be able to learn new things every day.
Would you like to have maybe played some rugby at a lesser level before hitting Super Rugby?
Yeah, well, I think that could have been ideal. I was keen for that sort of idea, but the way it sort of panned out, I think with the Blues situation is that I did need a break and probably going straight into ITM Cup off the back of a pretty tough, not only physical season in the NRL, but sort of mental stuff with all the negativity and with the big change and all the stuff I sort of copped through that. I definitely needed the break.
Have you gone to school on rugby? I mean, you obviously you haven't been, you haven't had to do too much training, but have you really been trying to learn the game?
Oh, I've watched more rugby games in the last, 3 months than I have in the last 4 years. It's been a little bit like that. That's all.
Sorry, you might not have heard that, but Angus, maybe our producer's a referee, and he just put in my ears. He read the law book.
Nah. I grew up playing rugby. I mean, a lot of the basics are still very much the same. I stopped playing rugby when I was 17, so I still remember how to play. I just got to make sure I don't get up and play the ball when I get tackled. So I'm sure I'll be all right.
What position when you did play were you?
So growing up, when I was always a lot smaller, so I sort of played halfback till I got to high school, and then when I got to high school, it was more like first five and fullback. So, I'm familiar with the positions. It's not like I'm new and never played before. Obviously, a lot of kids growing up, their dreams to play for the All Blacks, and that was mine growing up.
Yeah, because in a way, I reckon if you started at fullback, I mean, fullbacks really test you up positionally on the park, and I reckon to make a good fullback, you need to really know the game and where you should be and where you should be standing, and stay and reading the game, especially in defence.
Yeah, I think it's a big part of fullback. I think one thing I've always been good at throughout my career is positional probably awareness. I think I could handle that just judging off what I've seen. I mean, I've watched a lot of video. Sort of the last week I've watched the first 5 Blues games from last year and got a gauge of how we played, and I think that's important, and I think I can handle both those positions.
I get the feeling you're pretty keen to get into first 5 though, eh?
Yeah, I am. Only because sort of the role I've played at the Tigers the last couple of years has been more of a halfback role than a 5'8" role, which is controlling the team and getting your hands on the ball a lot more. And yeah, I think I'm the sort of player who, the more I get my hands on the ball and the more involved I am, the better I play. So that's sort of a motivating factor to probably play 10. But also with fullback, the opportunities not only to run the ball, but counter-attack is probably one of my strengths. And I think my biggest strength in rugby league was my running game and then ball play off the back of that. So if I can maybe imply that into 10 or into 15, I'll be happy, mate. As long as I can play the first game in the starting lineup, I'll be more than happy.
Yeah, so well, hopefully you go well in those practice games. Have you had to change your body shape at all?
A little bit. I mean, I think last year with our trainers at the start of the year, we sort of sat down and they wanted me to put a bit of mass on, and it didn't work out the way I wanted. I sort of started the year at 94 kilos last year, and this year I sort of made a decision personally to sort of get down to about 90, and I'm sitting at about 90.5 at the moment.
So you're looking to go lighter than in league days?
Yep. I just want to get a little bit sharper and get a bit of spring back in the step. I'm not young anymore. I'm 28 now. And
it's an uphill battle, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, mate. And I've really started to notice over the last couple of years, it does get harder, and you have to look after your body a bit more. And little things like diet and recovery are big factors in becoming a professional rugby player.
So let me get this straight. So you're saying that you think you'll aim to have your rugby playing weight lighter than your league playing weight?
Yep. Yeah. Well, last year I didn't feel as comfortable at sort of 94 kilos, and I think when I've played my best, I've been a lot sharper. I know I can handle the physical side of things at that weight, and 90 feels like it's going to be pretty good for me, and I already feel sharper now just from playing squash lately than I did last year.
Squash, is that you like to do that as a pastime?
I love it. I grew up playing squash, and I got to C grade before I sort of moved to Australia when I was 15, and every time I come back, I play against the family at squash and get carved up by my uncles, but it's all good.
So you were playing Winter Roofers Golf Day the other day.
Yeah.
How did that go?
Yeah, good. We finished up 8 under and sort of burgled a bit, but no, we played pretty well. I really love playing golf. It's just a good way to get away from your missus and 4 hours away from home. It's great.
But that is, a lot of people don't understand the pressures that professional sports people are under, and you can't be thinking your game the whole time. You need to zone out a bit, don't you?
Absolutely, and that's a big part of being good, I think, is being able to switch off when you're away from the training paddock or away from playing. And last year I wouldn't have watched many other games of league other than our own, because I just like to get away from it, because it's so 24/7. You just want to make sure mentally that you're not always got your mind on your own sport, and golf's a great way to get away from it.
Yeah,
might not be the best golfer in the world, but every now and again I look like Tiger Woods. Well, skin colour.
But you're a competitive bloke. I imagine you want to play well. You want to beat your opponents and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I hate losing. That's a big thing. So that's a fine for you, mate.
It is too.
Going off in the,
That's another cock up this morning. Sorry about that. My phone's gone off as well. I better put that on a silent. Please do not anyone else take the opportunity to text me or anything. Now I've lost my train of thought. Is well, actually, do you think through all of this process and everything, do you reckon that you're a little bit misunderstood out there in public?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, one of the scariest things for me was meeting all the teammates for the first time, because obviously the way my transition sort of been played out in public, and just the way you're sort of made out like the superstar or made out like a star in the media. I was a little bit worried that a few of the guys might have a preconceived idea about what sort of person I was, or that sort of thing. And that's pretty scary, because to all my mates and the people that know me, I'm just a normal dude really who likes having a laugh and have a beer with your mates every now and again. I'm that sort of person, and I wanted to get that across to my new teammates, and I think they sort of got a gauge of what I'm sort of like. But when you walk into a new arena, you just want everyone to like you for who you are and not think that you're bigger than who you are. I think they might have expected me to walk in thinking I was a bit bigger than I am, but I'm just normal, man.
Yeah, you just get out there and do your thing out of the park. Well, Benji, thanks very much for joining us this morning on the show. Really appreciate your time. You really have added an extra dimension, I think, for rugby fans in this country. There'll be a lot of interest. You picked the hardest team to probably come in and play, the one that everyone sort of pokes the finger at, but we wish you all the best.
Thanks, mate.